This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Hey, life's a risk, carnal.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Billy likes to drink soda.
So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own?
That's the fact, Jack!
Come on, seriously, who is that?
I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. Looks like we're almost out of beer.
What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Lucky the Dork Dad here, trying something a little new. I got a co-host with me. It's something I don't normally do, but today I have a Mr. Joe Martinez. What's going on, Joe?
What's going on, Lucky? Glad to be here. Glad to start this new venture with you and start watching some things.
All right. So what we're going to try to do, we got this little idea called NWT, or Now Watch This. So what we're going to do, we're going to take a movie or a TV show, kind of break it down, go through it, give our little, our 2 bits into it and whatnot. And yeah, hopefully you guys like it. So this is something new. Now watch this. All right. So today
we're going to give more than 2 bits. I got 2 bits and then some.
All right. I'm glad one of us came prepared because I'm winging it and Joe's all prepared. He's got notes. Joe is new to podcasting, but he's jumping in with both feet with me. So hopefully you guys enjoy the ride.
Yes, sir. Straight out the firing pan into the fire.
I didn't pop his podcast cherry, or if you will, but I'll take sloppy seconds. I'm good with that.
No, yeah.
So,
yeah, you're the second one.
So, Godzilla versus
not the
Kong.
First or the last.
Oh. Hey, we need some more quotes.
KBG. Oh well, you know, if you watched it, Lucky, and I know you didn't. I know yesterday, was it last night? Was your first viewing of it?
Yep. Godzilla versus Kong. I had to go back and watch. What was it? King of Monsters, because that one I totally missed it. Like I wanted to watch it when it first came out. And then I think something happened and I didn't make it right away. And then it got by me. You know what I mean?
It's one of those things, and it falls in the cracks, and then you don't know where to find it at.
But this is actually like the 4th movie? Because I think it started with Godzilla. I think I have it 2014. Then we had Skull Island, which is about Kong. And then the King of Monsters, and then now this one.
Yes, so it's 2 Godzillas, 1 Kong, and now we're putting them together. And I do have some notes about that in particular, but that might be into our what we would have done different section.
Oh, well, I don't want to steal your thunder, man. You got the notes, so yeah. Whenever you want, jump in.
Well, there was a lot of things, you know. I'll say it first. It's a fun movie. I like the movie. While I did go back and I did watch. I watched Skull Island. I didn't go back to King of Monsters because I do remember it, and I remember some of the things to it. But again, I didn't find that one to be too great. You know, that one was a lot of fights in the night, in the rain. And while I thought the CGI was good, I don't know. It didn't really do it too much for me.
Going back to was Millie Bobby Brown in the Godzilla one, or was that just King of Monsters where they brought her in?
Yeah. 11 was she was in the She was in King of Monsters. She was not in the first Godzilla. The first Godzilla had old brother and sister, Wanda Maximoff and Quicksilver as a couple.
Really? I think I need to go back and watch.
Yeah.
That one.
So if you remember, yeah. So again, the brother and sister from Age of Ultron, Quicksilver and Maximoff. They are husband and wife in the first Godzilla movie, and while a lot of people did like that movie, I liked, I believe, director Gareth Edwards. A lot of people liked it. A lot of people didn't like the fact that it was more of a movie about a couple, and with Godzilla kind of playing in the background.
I think that's the hard thing, right? Because how do you make a movie just about Godzilla? There has to be some people in it, right? That's the hard thing to balance. To make something interesting that's just not just the big lizard, but whatever.
So,
well, I guess.
So tell me, Lucky. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Tell me, what's your history with Kong and Godzilla? Like, did you remember movies back in the day?
I didn't watch any of those. You know, my when people say Godzilla, the first thing I remember is the movie that we don't talk about from the 90s. because I was actually working at a movie theater at that time. So when I think of Godzilla, that's what I think of. But yeah, the movie that they do not.
I have
talk about.
Some particular memories about that movie, but that involves being a teenager back then, going to the movies with his girlfriend, and yeah, we don't get into that as well.
and I know
it's better left unsaid.
I knew about Kong and Godzilla, but I had never really gotten into the movies. It's just more interesting now, I guess, that they're bringing everything back with the kaijus and all that. Like, I really liked the first Pacific Rim, where they bringing in those kind of monsters and stuff. But yeah.
Well, anything with Idris Elba, I think is good to me.
All right, I'm Black Superman.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I mean. We may not get into Justice League one day, but I so wanted him as Jon Stewart, man.
That would be good.
I got King Kong. Do you remember those movies back in the day?
Nah. Unfortunately, nah. Like
what about the Peter Jackson one?
That was with Jack Black, wasn't it? That's all. I think that's the only thing I know about it.
I didn't. Yeah. Well, there's people that rave about that one, but no, forget it. Even as a Peter Jackson sort of Lord of the Rings fan, I was not into that Kong movie.
Don't get me into Lord of the Rings, man, because I know people hate because I don't like those movies. I only seen the first one. Maybe it's because I only seen the first one. I've only seen the first one, and I wasn't into it, and I didn't even watch the rest of them.
No, I won't tell you how I made my pregnant wife wait in line at the movies
I thought you were going somewhere else.
At midnight so I could watch part 2.
I thought you were going somewhere else with that story.
But no, I think maybe you saw Clerks 2, and that's where your Lord of the Rings love or hate comes from.
Maybe. So Godzilla had the Maximoffs. I guess they liked these Marvel characters because I really liked Skull Island, which had Loki and Captain Marvel.
Right? And Nick Fury.
And Nick Fury, that's right. Sam Jackson.
Which, he plays the same character in every movie now, so.
Oh, yeah.
But as Family Guy said, Sam Jackson's in everything. I'm sorry. Well, Skull Island, and the thing about it is, and it's a small issue I have, but it's a valid issue. It's 51 years between Skull Island and this movie that we're watching today, KBG.
51.
Like, why did they feel that time? 51 years between those two movies.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. See, and that's why I need you. I'm the wing it guy, and you're the guy that's gonna have all the notes.
Yeah. Yes. Like it's 51 years between the movie. Why didn't they? Kong could have had another movie in here. I know they don't have to tell the classic Kong story of someone bringing him to Earth, bringing him to Earth. I'm sorry, bringing him to the States. But they could have had another either Skull Island movie or something that kind of set up some of the things that they talk about in this movie. As there's been this history between Kong and Godzilla that we never knew about, and now it's coming out right now.
I guess let's just kind of go through the movie. We start off with Kong. It says that we're on Skull Island, right? It starts off the big monkey. He's chilling. He's doing his thing, and we realize that he's not on Skull. Well, I don't know is it Skull Island, but there's like a big dome around him. He's in the Truman Show, or I think they even call it the Biodome.
Yeah. Viva los Biodome. Yes. That was very Truman Show. Up to him looking at the fake sun in the sky, and you can even see that coming at first, and then it's got the good.
He's making a javelin,
song and that
he's making a javelin out of a tree, and I'm like, okay, what's going on? What's he doing?
Well, it is a callback to the Skull Island where he took out some of the helicopters like that.
Yeah.
By stripping the tree and throwing it right into him. But in the Skull Island, and it says in the Skull Island where he's still growing, and that's a big part of the first part of this movie is he's getting too big for the containment zone, and as big as he's getting, he has to be that big, because if not, Godzilla's just gonna smash him. So, but again, that's part of that 51 years that we missed. You know what I mean?
If this is, maybe I missed it. If it is Skull Island, right? They just
that 51 years.
Well, it had to have taken that long to build this.
Yeah, so he is in Skull Island. They're right, and that's what I'm saying too. It's like they have this containment zone. How did that happen? How did he get what happened there?
That's one of my issues, but
we get our
movie magic. It's movie magic. We're not supposed to think about that stuff. It's just there. But
yeah,
but maybe
it's one of those things that
took 51 years to make it.
Yeah, and 51 years, and then you hear about the tribe that was there with them before they get wiped out, right? And the only one is this little girl. Well, this little girl's like, I'm sorry, man, my dog just barked in the background there. Yeah, this little girl, she has to be like 8 years old. So, okay, so 8. We got in that 51 years, this 8-year-old girl, or maybe say she's 10, I don't know. But, that came along in this time here. So, that's something that could have been touched on, like
I know
the tribe getting wiped out.
8 years.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to have been there building that big dome during that time. You know what I mean? It's like they couldn't have helped them.
I'm sure they put some of that tribe to work. You know what I mean?
I know. But
exactly, and that dome wasn't built in 8 to 10 years.
Right. That takes forever. It takes 10 years just for them to fix the highway around here.
Well, yeah. if we go by that, no, forget them. But that 35 is still messed up.
But I really dug how this little girl is just automatically has a connection with him. There's a Project X moment. I don't know if you remember that movie, Matthew Broderick. Remember that one?
Yeah,
where he's with the test pilot monkeys.
Yeah, the Project character.
Yeah, so had like a Project X moment where Kong actually knows what she's talking about, and they're actually able to
throwback
communicate.
Yeah. Well, and that was the thing too. Is like, she's deaf or she's mute, but she can communicate with Kong. So maybe that I thought, and this was where my son told me I was full of it, is that she can tolerate or maybe she wasn't afraid of Kong at first because she can't hear the roar, and everything like that.
Right.
But my son said she feels the vibration. Of course she hears that shit. So,
Yeah, she's got special powers.
That's what I felt like. That gave her that barrier. Yeah.
My thing is like that. The mom, she's not the mom. The lady that's taking care of her. The character's name is Eileen.
See,
like
that's the thing too.
She was so surprised.
I didn't even know the characters' names.
She was so surprised that the little girl was able to talk to him or communicate with him, even though that they were supposedly have been watching him. They watch him, his every movement, and they're just now. She's just now realizing that.
Again, because it's the Truman Show.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they're not. For me, the way that thing makes sense is they built that thing and they're recording Kong's every move, and the way that thing is being funded is by people paying to watch Kong's every move out there. You know what I mean?
Right? Must be.
Like, that's a different movie. That's the Kong Show.
That'd be.
But that lady comes out
there
and
come out there saying, "Good afternoon, good evening, and good night."
But it's like she's and she's a good actress too. Don't get me wrong, but I mean, they just give her these one or two lines per in the movie, and which again. There's people that argue for it. There's not enough story. There's people that, hey, just give me the monsters. Let me see them fighting. And that's the movie to me. And, you run into the same thing, I think, even with the Transformers movies where they try to make it about something. And, hey, just give me the robots fighting, please.
Yeah. That's another show, too. It's like, look what they did in the 80s with the cartoons. Just have it about the robots. Forget about the people.
Yes.
But
that's
another show.
Don't get me into that.
That's another show.
Yes. So that's a future show for our watchers out there.
After they show Kong, we go into a little montage of Kong and Godzilla both defeating all these leftover titans, if you will, and it seems like they're the only two left.
Yeah. Now, I like that shit. Like all of these movies, they've kind of had that same kind of beginning where they run these news clips and a lot of it is I'm sure some of it is shot there, but they repurpose a lot of old news footage and make it kind of try and seem like they tilt it towards the movie and stuff like that. So I love the way they've done that in these 4 MonsterVerse movies.
And then we lead to, what is this called? This Apex Cybernetics. We go to this character named Bernie. He's got his underground podcast talking about all the stuff that's going down. And he sees it firsthand because he's actually working there. He knows something is going down. I like that character a lot. Maybe because he's a podcaster.
Yes. And maybe because he's a crazy podcaster.
Yeah.
And I like that. Like, I mean, hopefully we can get into it in our show or something. But conspiracies on those, get watch 1 or 2 videos on YouTube, and next thing you know, you're trying to solve JFK's assassination.
And there you go. But this guy Bernie, he knows something's up. He's trying to get some data just for his show. Kind of like us, I guess. we're gonna have to break some rules to get some some info for the show.
Hey, may have to take one for the team one day. That's just what happens.
So he breaks in and not break in. He distracts this guy at the computer, and he downloads some secret file which looks to be it's like the eyeball, right? Well, we're not there yet, but it's this round sphere looking thing that he knows something's up with it.
Well, you saw the King of Monsters. It's supposed to come from there, and it's supposed to be the nerve center, I think, for Godzilla, for the 3-headed monster in King of Monsters.
That's what they eventually find, right?
Yes, and so I believe that is what he's looking at. But you see that Godzilla comes in and Godzilla goes from saving people or, protecting people in the last movie to he's attacking a building here.
Yeah, they're so this Apex Cybergenics, they're trying to sell themselves as, Godzilla's going crazy and he's not the savior that we thought. We need to protect ourselves from Godzilla. But actually, we find out everything that this company is doing is what's causing Godzilla to act all crazy.
Yeah, we get for the first time ever, we see a Hispanic CEO, and with a lot of money and a lot of power, and of course he's a bad guy. Yeah, right. Why wouldn't he be? I heard him called in Hispanic Elon Musk out there. So
I like that. Yeah. So he's got this plan for something, but he needs more power. And of course, there's this guy. I don't know if he's from the other movies or not. I don't remember the character played by Alexander Skarsgard, a relative of Pennywise. But supposedly he wrote this book about I believe they called it, what was it? Lost my
Hollow Earth.
Hollow Earth. There you go. See?
That's why I need it's the Hollow Earth. It's the Hollow Earth theory, and I don't know if he wrote it or his brother wrote it, but he's supposed to have a brother. Now, again, God damn it, I should have looked deeper into this, but either his brother died in Skull Island or in King of Monsters, and I'm hoping it was King of Monsters, because if he died in Skull Island, that was 51 years ago, and it's weird to have a brother 51 years older than you.
He has this book all about this Hollow Earth, and
I'm gonna keep going back to that shit.
And so this Apex Cybergenics, they want to get to this Hollow Earth, and they believe that he knows, because he wrote the book, they believe he knows how to get there. They can talk about his brother dying. Supposedly his brother died while going through the actual portal, if you will. There's like a breaking point that separates the two areas where supposedly it reverses gravity or something, and you can't withstand all the pressure or whatnot. But this guy,
it's that old gravity thing.
This guy's saying, "Hey, I got these new vehicles that they'll be able to handle it, this and that." Tries to convince them to come on board.
Yeah, he's got the old heaves that they called it Hollow Earth aerial vehicles. It wasn't. Those are a bit of a throwback to one of the old Kong, or not Kong, but they had in there. And it's a little bit of a throwback, but it was not of a nod to those old first movies.
And you broke up a little bit, but I think we got that as a throwback.
Okay, I'm sorry, my bad. No. Yeah, the that vehicle, the Hollow Earth aerial vehicle, the Heave. It looks very much like one of the vehicles that they used in the Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla movie. So it was a little bit of a throwback there, and there's a lot of that, man. I like those old movies. Those old movies. A lot of them weren't. Again, if you're watching them for the story, you're probably not. You're probably not going to be very happy. But if you're just watching for some dumb fun, which that's what this movie is. It's good fun, man. It's good fun. And it got us out of thinking about COVID for 2 hours. It got us out of everything that the mundane stuff in life, and took us away for 2 hours, and that's what it's supposed to do, right? It's a good movie.
We got this guy, the Mexican Elon Musk, convincing this guy to go with them to Hollow Earth. He says he can make it through, and he convinces him. I forget what he said to him, but he's like, "Okay, I'm in, but we need another kaiju or another creature to guide us through." And they're saying, "Well,
yeah, I think they called it a Titan."
A Titan. Yeah, because they believe that they all came from this Hollow Earth, so they want to go back home, and that's one thing that the little girl, we know that Kong knows, is the sign for home. So they believe that Kong can guide them through these wormholes all the way through to Hollow Earth. So they're like, let's go get Kong, right? They go back to this lady with the little girl, and one thing I had a problem with, well, not a problem, but it's like she was so easily convinced, like there was hardly any argument. They're just like,
oh yeah,
okay, let's go.
Yeah, and then the thing she says was too, she's like, well, what I say goes about Kong. It's like he's gonna do what he wants. But then it cuts to what Kong's on the boat already, locked up, and it's like, how the hell did that happen, bro?
I mean,
like how
this is gonna come back at the end, but it's like Kong is this unstoppable beast, and as soon as she says yes, he's knocked out in handcuffs on a boat. Okay, sure, whatever. It's movie magic.
It's that little part, but the director kind of talks about it too, and he's like, he wanted to keep the movie short and tight. He said he probably could have filled some things, but he would have to go 3 hours or 4 hours, and he didn't want to do that.
I think it's another reason for the little girl character. I think they want us to believe that she's so in touch with him that maybe she told him, "Hey, it's okay, come on board, whatever."
Yeah, well, they kind of go into that too. Or not, they don't go into it, but they try to lead us to assume that. I mean, all we see him say is home.
Right.
Lead us to elaborate conversations with Kong.
Yeah, but that's
where Kong told her he didn't want anyone to know that he can speak. Like, come on.
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that he signed.
Shh.
Yeah. Don't tell him. So we got Kong on this boat.
Keep it on the DL.
So we got Kong on this boat, just chilling in handcuffs. I mean, if they controlled him enough to get him on the boat, did they need the handcuffs? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
it makes for an interesting plot point, when Godzilla does get there.
Yeah, so Godzilla has this ability to sense other titans, if you will. So when they're bringing him along on the boat, well, because before he was in that dome, and I guess supposedly Godzilla couldn't sense him in that dome, but now that he's out in the open, Godzilla can sense him, and he's going after him, right? Mm-hmm. Coming out of the water.
Yeah, because as they couldn't save the village people there, but they could make a building that it blocks Godzilla senses.
Yeah. So we got Godzilla coming.
Maybe they used bleach.
Yeah, can't smell.
You saw like our podcaster friend.
Godzilla senses them moving him and comes to attack Kong, right? Because he knows something's not right. And this is our first kind of like
yeah, and we get our
first little battle.
But it's the classic battle, right? They went to your classic WWE match or your classic boxing match. It's like, you got to have the 1, the 2, and the 3, right?
Yep.
Rocky 1, he gets beat, and he gets a train and gets things that help him along the way, and then comes back and fights again, and he's maybe not victorious in 3, but he's a little bit more prepared.
Godzilla attacks the boat. Kong is chained up. I think it's the author of that book. He's like, hey, let him go. Release the chains. So let him be able to defend himself. And that's when they kind of go at it.
And them.
Yeah, and they take their blows on each other. Godzilla tears up a few boats.
Oh, and it has the we hadn't mentioned her yet, but it has the daughter of Hispanic Elon Musk there.
Yeah, she's there
and she's like, dump the monkey. Yeah, and she's just there to be the bitch. It's like they had to have someone like that, so that we hated her and hopefully she gets her comeuppance later.
Yeah. She don't care about Kong. She's cared about what she's there for, to go get that power source.
Yeah, she's there for her daddy.
So they go at it. Kong is almost drowns, and he's pretty much defeated. He's wasted. He gets himself back on the boat, and then they have the idea to turn everything off. Right, turn off the power. They're like, you're crazy. They're like, trust me, turn off all the power, and maybe Godzilla won't. He'll see that everything's shut down and think he won and just take off.
Well, they get a little bit into the battle there, and we see the battle for the first time. Once his handcuffs are opened up, he's able to come up, and you see him throw up that big amount of water, and so he throws that up, and then he turns around and he sees where Godzilla's at, and then Kong being Kong, he assesses the situation and he just jumps on to more of the ships that are floating there and jumps from one ship to the other. I'm sure there was probably some people in those buildings that he stepped on.
Yeah.
And that on that ship, but that's neither here or there. And then he picks up the jet as it's he picks up the jet and throws it at Godzilla so he can get him to come back. And that's where we see Godzilla come back, and Godzilla climbs on the deck, and he takes a right hand from Kong, and Kong had a killer right there. I'm just saying, he hit him there. Godzilla shook it off and then knocked Kong on his ass, and you saw how much powerful in the first scene that Godzilla is than Kong. And that's where you say, Godzilla almost beats him into submission and nearly almost kills him. If it wasn't, he was going to take him underwater and drown him if they didn't drop the depth charges. As the the girl that she didn't know nothing from nothing, but she knows enough to tell them to drop depth charges to save Kong there, and that's when they go dead, and they're able to avoid Godzilla for the rest of the time there.
See, the depth charges, I forgot about that. That's why I need you. So,
but what was cool is it leads to the next one, the next scene they get to.
So after that fight, we go back to Millie Bobby Brown, 11, if you will. She has been following this podcaster, Bernie. She wants to get involved for some reason, right? She knows something's going on. She knows Godzilla is attacking for a reason, and she wants to know why. So she gets her homeboy from Deadpool 2. I don't know why.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Just another character, do we really need? I don't know, but they just threw him in there. They're going to go seek out Bernie.
It's a classic. He's a classic friend. He reminded me so much, Again, he's a classic friend in Deadpool, but he reminded me of Spider-Man's. Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man.
You need the comic relief.
His friend. Got to. Guy in the chair.
Yeah, he's the comic relief. Yeah, he's
tap water, they called him.
He's hesitant. Tap water, yeah. Yeah, he's hesitant to go, but she convinces him, hey, let's go find this guy, Bernie. And you're like, how are we going to find him? And you brought up the bleach. He buys a lot of bleach. So they're going to go find out where he's buying this bleach from, so maybe they can find out where he's at.
And she tells him he consumes a lot of bleach, and he's like, he eats it and he drinks it? She's like, no, he bathes it, man. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah, that's just as bad.
I can't open a cap without it burning my eyes. That's what I'm saying, man. That shit would burn. But it's a good little deal, and they go and they meet him, and I don't know if you noticed, but his symbol for his podcast. Did you see it's the eye, and it's kind of slanted diagonally, and it very much looks like, and I've heard that it is a kind of a throwback or a Easter egg to the Godzilla that we don't speak about from the 90s.
Oh, really?
And that first cover that we saw that came out with that slanted eye. Yeah. You look at it, it is very much like that. So, and they threw out some Easter eggs in that too, as she's looking into the podcast and it, being a fan, and we're all trained now, right? We've been through like 14, 15 years of the Marvel movies, and now we're all looking for that, right? We're looking for that Easter egg, and what's going to lead to the next movie and stuff like that. And if you saw on one of the podcasts, they talked about Mothra's egg being found. All right, my bad, man.
All right.
Where did we leave off?
We're back. Where did we leave off? So we got the crew of 11, Tapwater, and the podcaster Bernie go into. They want to find out what's going on, so they go to the cybernetics facility. I think they get followed, right, and then they try to hide in this room. They open up this room, and it's something else. It's not just a room, right?
Yeah, surprisingly, they're able to get into this place, pretty easily. Yeah.
Well, it was hit by Godzilla. It was hit by Godzilla, right? It was hit by Godzilla, so it was kind of tore up a little bit.
Yeah, it was hit by Godzilla, so it was in ruins. Yeah, and they find that I guess tube that connects them to Hong Kong.
Now this is like
and hit it through there.
It's like this. Why are they hiding this technology? I mean, I don't remember where this facility was at, but
yeah,
they made it all the way to Hong Kong, which they made it seem like minutes.
I thought it was like Miami to Hong Kong, and that's not around the corner. So,
yeah,
it's like we're still trying to get a railway to Austin that'll get us there in half an hour. We can't get that here.
For real, a bullet train or something, right?
And that's what this is. And for what it is, what it's worth, it's pretty badass. But it serves as nothing other than to get them into Hong Kong and into the other cybernetics or Apex facility.
We gotta move the characters along somehow.
Yeah, and not for nothing, but okay, 11 was in King of Monsters, and with her dad, who's played by I know his name's Kyle Chandler, but and sticking to our theme here, he was the Friday Night Lights coach, right? Friday Night Lights. I don't know if you ever saw that show, but he was in part. He was in King of Monsters. He has like 2 scenes in this movie.
I know. It's like,
and he's a good actor.
Yeah, they just had nothing for him to do, I guess. I mean,
he was putting there nothing just to say that, okay, Godzilla is a bad guy, and that's it. But he's 11's father.
It was kind of odd, but they had to link the movie somehow, I guess, right? Through 11, mostly.
But there's more than a few actors in this movie that are there's more than a few actors that are good actors, but they have like 1 or 2 lines in this movie, and it's like, man, I know we're in a COVID era, but are roles that hard to get, man? That we're settling for one-liners, or either that they're waiting to release their Snyder cut.
So they make it all the way to Hong Kong. Am I breaking up?
No, you're good. You had froze a little bit there, but I got they're making it to Hong Kong.
My internet sucks sometimes. But they're starting to put AT&T fiber. Like they're just starting the process. I can't wait for them to hurry up and do that.
Yeah, I switched to AT&T recently, but yeah, it's been pretty good. Now the issue I had earlier was with my damn laptop, man. Like again, I freaking told my kids to have it on and have it booted up, and that meant, hey, if anything needs to be updated so that it's ready to go when I get home, and nombre, forget it.
All right, let's see. So
they made it to Hong Kong, and then we cut to Godzilla being flown into Antarctica, which gave
Kong, right?
2 bits of an Easter egg. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry, Kong getting flown into Antarctica. And that's where the entrance to the Hollow Earth is. But the scene there is, I don't know if you ever saw the 60s Kong versus Godzilla, but the way they fly him into battle there is with hot air balloons tied up the same way.
Little homage.
And they fly him over to Hong Kong, or, to where they're fighting. Yeah. And so they give a little homage there. And then there's also... I'm sorry, I got it in my notes here. Kong Escapes movie, where they transport him by helicopter to the North Pole of all places. But that's the 60s, 70s Kong movies, which again this is stuff that I kind of grew up on and did love back in the day.
So we're in Antarctica, and again, these people have been studying Kong for years, but yet they need this little girl to tell them, hey, go in this hole so we can follow you. In the hole is your home. Go to your home. That's your home.
Yeah. And not only that, but hey, tell him, I know he's been alone all this time, but tell him he might have family in there. Go ahead.
Yeah, just lie to him, right? They might be in there. I don't know. Go see.
Yeah. And then, they try to justify, I've heard someone justify it and saying, well, she didn't lie to Kong. She told Kong maybe there's family in there.
But again, without that little girl, that's her whole purpose, just to communicate with them. Even though they've been studying him for years.
Yeah. and the lady is listed as the Kong Whisperer all a long time. She's been riding this little girl's back, man. Come on.
For real, right? They do show that, right? That she's an expert on him, but yet she can't even communicate with him.
Yeah, there's like a People magazine cover calling her the Kong Whisperer.
So The little girl tells him, it's okay.
But yeah, again, their movie takes along.
So they convince him to go in there. They get in their special ship and get through this wormhole, if you will, and break through that gravity barrier or whatever it is, which we'll get to another point later in the movie.
But again, that he once he's going, man, and it's kind of fun to see him get down there and start swinging into things. But at a certain point, he hits that gravity point and forget it. Up is down, left is right, but he seems to kind of Kong again, as she said, Kong bows to no one, man. He's not bowing to the gravity.
Yep. And while they're there, you get this whole center of the earth feeling, right? It's like,
yeah, you got to remember those movies, right? The Journey to Center of the Earth.
Yeah, I mean, it's real cool. It's real cool. It looks like the Land Before Time or whatnot. And he finds this kind of like I don't even know what you call it, like a castle, or I don't even know what you would call it, like a palace.
Well, it seems all these big movies have the old room with the throne nowadays, right? I know you watch because I listen to your shows. The Last Jedi, right?
Oh yeah.
They have the big throne room scene in there, where the guy goes in and it's I think that all comes from Game of Thrones. Everyone wants to have that scene of the king or the victor sitting in that big throne room.
And it's an awesome scene. I mean, I dig it. And it's not even really like a throne. It's just kind of like, it looks like one.
Yeah.
He takes a squat. He's tired from traveling down the hole, and he's just sitting, chilling.
Kong's been through some shit, man.
Yeah.
He's been through some shit in that little bit of time. He's trying to go home. I saw that that was shared where he's like, I'm just trying to go home and this motherfucker tries to drown me.
Oh yeah, I'm digging those memes. Where it's just like a gorilla talking to people.
Yeah. Yeah. He's like, I'm gonna do what I can, guys, but hey, it's a radioactive dragon. Come on.
Yeah, I like that.
But again, it gets down there and okay, Hollow Earth, I mean, this isn't the first time it's mentioned, it's talked about in the Skull Island episode. I'm sorry, the Island movie. Hollow Earth is talked about, and it's something that has been, it's been in the vernacular for a long time, going back to, like I said, H.P. Lovecraft and his books and the movies that were made for that. They Journey to the Center of the Earth, where basically, people go back into the land that time forgot and full of dinosaurs and these kind of animals there. But in this one, man, everyone's kind of adjusting to the gravity, and Kong hits the ground running. Once he hits the ground, he's there, and it's like they said, he's going to lead them to where they need to go.
He's there. He's chilling on the throne. And then we cut back to the crew, the 11 crew, whatever we're going to want to call it. They're in Hong Kong, and somehow they get thrown into like this gladiator arena with these other creatures. This is where we get the big reveal of what's actually going on with this Apex company. They're running a test to see how this new being acts, right? You want to talk about that?
Yeah, and then they talk about again, it's the classic trope that we've been seeing lately, and it's the Batman versus Superman, where they're opposed at first, but then they come together for a bigger threat. And we see that bigger threat that's coming here. It's Mecha Godzilla, and what it's coming from. And it's a little bit so much on the nose that we don't even notice it at first. Someone tells God says that there cannot be two apex predators, and we think, of course, they're talking about Kong and they're talking about Godzilla, and of course, yeah, they can't be two of them. But you know what the real thing is it's the name of the corporation is Apex, Cybernetics, and they're the second apex predator that's out there, and that's why Godzilla is attacking them, because of course there cannot be two apex predators out there.
So I'm not familiar with the whole Godzilla lore, if you will, but I don't know if you know, is the old Mechagodzilla actually controlled by a human like that, or is it just a big robot?
Yes, very much the same thing. It's controlled. It may be more handheld back then, but I do remember it being a situation where someone's controlling Mechagodzilla in the same way. And you know how these mecha AIs work. We can never control them.
Never.
Just like Ultron, they're going to break out and they're going to do their own thing, Doc Ock's arms, we weren't going to be able to control them. They control their own thing.
I like the whole idea that it was like mind controlled, but I think it would have been cool to have like the same technology as we saw in Pacific Rim, and actually have them inside, and that way they can tie that whole thing together. I think that would be cool.
Then the human element, then it makes a little bit more sense, right? But no. But again, you can never. That's why we can't let these computers get too smart. Lucky, we can't let them get too smart. They're gonna take over. So just like in T2.
So this first little test that they do, they throw some creatures out there. Mechagodzilla tears them up, and then he kind of shuts down. Like, we need more power. We need that power source from the Hollow Earth, from the center of the Earth.
Yeah. Now, and the cool thing is the creature from Skull Island.
Yeah.
That Kong has to fight in Skull Island. Yeah. So you see Mechagodzilla just ripping right through them.
Yeah, that was cool. But again, as soon as he was done, he shut down.
And again, I don't remember. And then we get to see well, again, it's how did they not notice that they were out there?
I know. Humans
they run right out there, right into the playing field. And yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Maybe it's bleach.
So Godzilla senses this activity, I think, right? And starts making his way towards Hong Kong.
So anytime they activate this thing, I guess it Godzilla senses that there's another threat in the area, and he goes to take care of us like I guess he has been. And so it sets Hong Kong up for just a big doing, and they have one or two scenes of it where I guess they're ushering people away to fallout shelters, but that's the way they kind of cover this thing up, because the showdown that's about to go down in Hong Kong is people are getting taken out.
I think Godzilla was sensing that Kong was in Hollow Earth. He sent like a signal right through the Earth that made a big hole.
At one point, he does. Yes, he shoots his and he makes the hole through a Hollow Earth. And again, if that was something that he was able to do, and that's his old home, wouldn't he have done that already? Or is that where Godzilla goes to every time he leaves us, and he leaves us gone? So I don't know questions that could have been answered.
In making that big old hole, that palace place starts to fall apart, and Kong notices this glowing axe, if you will, right on the floor. Picks it up, takes it with him.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's get out of Dodge. We got to get out of here. Through the big hole that was just made.
Yeah, and you get to see our person that went down there, that the one in the one group that we didn't like, we got to see her meet her little bitty demise down there, and I'm sure I watched this one at home, but I'm sure if we're in the theater watching it, that would have got a big cheer from the crowds. And that was another thing about this movie too, is I don't know if you heard, but of course it was number one, but it made a lot of money. It made 121 overseas, and I think 45 here the opening day, and that's 45 million.
That's a lot
of a movie that a lot of us watched at home for free.
Yeah.
And that's a lot during this time. We're not out of the clear yet, and I don't want to be that way, but that's people. People are eager to go back to the theaters, and I think it's a good sign, man.
Yeah, and that's a lot for not everywhere being open still,
Yeah. That I think that's a good sign. A lot of people, I'm a moviegoer, man. I like to go to the movies. I talked about my son earlier. I like to take him to the movies. I like to go out and see these movies opening day. I told you I made my pregnant wife wait in line to see Lord of the Rings too. This was back in the day when you couldn't reserve seats. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You had to wait in line.
But yeah, back in the day, kids.
So I did skip past one thing while they were in the Hollow Earth area. There was these glowing rocks, and the daughter of Mexican Elon Musk was like, "There's the power source. We got to get it," and sent out a little drone vehicle to start analyzing this this stone or this rock, this power source, which is that's another thing where we just have to okay, that's what it is. So they didn't actually have to get it and take it to Hong Kong. This little drone thing just kind of analyzed it and sent the molecular breakdown of whatever it was, so they can recreate it.
Yeah, and we're gonna be able to recreate that out there on Earth,
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it. And then one of the things is, he does find that, it goes into where he finds his home, and he finds it's not his home. And while I did run into a little bit of a problem with this, I understand what it is and what it's trying to when he gets there, and he seems to know, he sees the handprint on the wall. He pushes the wall and finds his that's where he finds the throne room and everything like that. But it's almost Superman like, where he goes up and he finds his home up there, and God forgive me that I cannot think of the damn name.
It's his Fortress of Solitude.
His Fortress of Solitude. Yeah. Yes. And it's kind of the same thing again, but I'm not shitting on the movie about that, because it's a good thing. It's something that we all recognize and we all can see, and we've all been there, because this movie was fucking made for us. And one of the things that the director talked about in making this movie is Kong's your classic 80s movie hero, and he's gonna pay off in that when we get to our final fight scene. But one of the good things in the Hollow Earth scene, and I want to know if you kind of picked up on this, is the weapon that he finds there. He finds his badass axe down there. And did you kind of see what it's made out of?
I don't know. What did you think? It was funny. It was it actually had a place in the floor. It was perfectly set.
Yeah. Well, Again, I watched this movie the first day it came out, and then I went back and I watched it again. When I knew that we were going to kind of talk about it, and it's actually the dorsal fin of an old Godzilla.
Ah,
and that's why when Godzilla shoots his ray into it, it charges up because that's what his dorsal fins do. So this badass axe that he has is made out of the bone and dorsal fin of an old Godzilla.
Makes you wonder if it's his or someone else's.
And again, we need that story. We're gonna talk about that because as you talked about, it's like we get into sequels or maybe something you would have done different or something like that. That's another story to tell. That's that classic story I would like to know.
So now, again, back there's a big hole, and Kong and the group is like, let's get out of here. As much of a hard time they had going in through that gravity thing, going out the hole, no problem. Let's just go out.
Right. It's a quick drop.
Yeah.
But for Apex Cybernetics, as good as they are, man, they need some Apex security, bro, because they have no security in their place. 11, Bleach Guy, and Tapwater are just walking all over into everything.
You would think they have like cameras or something, maybe.
I'm just saying, put a little money into the security system. Huh?
I thought it was funny. There was one scene where 11 just kind of like pops her head out the floor, like, what's going on here?
And then they go in, and they're in the they're in the big head of
they find
and there's the head that's right there. And they find that guy that's doing the he's doing the virtual Mechagodzilla, and you're gonna laugh at this, but for me it's a throwback to my favorite movie that I saw Godzilla in, which was 1985's Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And if you remember the end scene there, when they tried to Godzilla movie. But you remember they sit in the big dinosaur, and they're sitting in the big head in there too. So that reminded me of that when they walk into the head and they see the guy working Mechagodzilla from in there.
Yeah.
But that's my wife's favorite movie, and I told her, I said, that was my favorite Godzilla part.
So that's where they figure out that it's Ghidorah's, one of his heads. It's actually, they're using it to control.
Yes.
Which is dangerous.
And then, it cuts to Kong, and because, Godzilla's being active. So, Kong's axe starts glowing, and that reminded me of, I know you only watched the first one, but that reminded me of Lord of the Rings, where they have the swords, and anytime an orc's near, the sword starts glowing. But as Kong has his place to put that axe, it starts glowing. And if you saw that glow, it almost turns into an outline of Godzilla.
Right.
It shows the outline of a dragon that's there. And then everything starts kind of glowing up down there. And all the while that's happening, Godzilla's tearing Hong Kong a new one, looking for, the predator that's up there.
I just want to say,
and that's when he.
I just want to say I like the way you say swords with a W, swords.
Swords. Hey man, I'm from the Wu-Tang Clan, the Liquid Swords.
There you go. Kong finally gets up there.
Yeah.
And they start going at it. Now Kong has a weapon.
Yeah.
And
it's like, I got you.
And this scene really does remind me of like the old school movies where they're in the city and just tearing up everything.
Yes, and I like it because it's I remember when everyone had the issue with Batman versus Superman and the amount of people that died there and how they never talked about it. No one cared about it, but it was what it was, and I'm glad they kind of just let them just go there and tear each other a new one in there, and it was badass because it the completist in me had to go back and watch the old Kong versus Godzilla fight, from the first movie, and there's a lot of things that happen here. Of course, it's done a lot better and everything like that, but there's a lot of things that happen here that happen in that first Godzilla versus Kong movie. And it goes back to where Godzilla was going to shoot his fire at him, and Kong sticks his axe in his mouth. And if you go back and watch the first one, and there's been memes made of it too, as well as Godzilla's getting ready to shoot his ray at him, and Kong picks up a tree from the ground and just shoves it in his mouth. And it good little throwbacks now is that everything's doing that. There's a lot of remakes or reboots that are paying homage to the shit that we grew up loving.
I just really like that scene, the whole Hong Kong scene. The way the buildings are all neon. I mean, I don't know how it is now, but it looks probably in the future that everything's neon. You can see everything at night, and just how they tear everything apart. They tear it a new one.
Yeah, and like there's people that I'm not big on it. I'm not a big anime fan. I don't know if you are, Luck, but there's people that talk about like there's a lot of Akira anime fill-ins in the way that they portray Hong Kong in this movie. So I mean, Godzilla being from Japan,
yeah,
from Japanese, and it's got that anime feel. And I don't know, at work, you work with a lot of Japanese people there?
Sometimes.
Yeah, I got I got with my buddy the day before he came out, and I was like, "So who are you going for?" And he's like, I think it's pretty obvious who I'm going for. Godzilla. And I was like, "Oh, god damn it."
He's like, Godzilla.
Yeah, Gojira. And of course, their favorite movie ain't even Godzilla. It's the Austin Powers scene where he's like, "Run, it's Godzilla," and they're like, "Oh, we can't say that." He's like, "I know, but we're gonna run like it is Godzilla." When Austin Powers is in Japan.
Yeah, like we can't say that.
So finally, the Apex security does catch 11 and Bleach and tap water there,
and he realizes who she is
in his sights, and he basically realizes that the podcast guy is gonna come to save the day.
You're breaking up, but I got some of that.
You know what? That's not Mexican Elon Musk. That's he's the most interesting man in the in the universe. I said it's not Mexican Elon Musk anymore. It's the most interesting man in the universe.
That's the Dos Equis.
The Dos Equis guy.
I see it more, yeah.
Bro, I'm just saying, the one Mexican guy he had to be the bad guy. Come on, damn it.
Why couldn't he be the podcaster?
I'm just saying, why couldn't he be the podcaster? Let us save the day once in a while, Not only in Born in East LA, in this movie too.
So now we have their second battle, right? Kong comes out of the hole, he sees Godzilla.
Yeah. They
start going at it, and probably Kong gets the best of Godzilla for a minute there.
Yeah, and there's a shot, man, that for me it was best, and for years they had that Kong ride at Universal Studios Florida But man, they can make a heave ride with this. But there's a shot where Godzilla's shooting his ray out, and that heave is kind of circling that and coming into Godzilla's. It flies like right by Godzilla's face while he's shooting out there. That shot and that scene right there, man, that was badass. We get that classic showdown, and as you said, Godzilla starts getting the best of him, and like it guns, he bests Kong, and he dislocates his shoulder, bro.
Yeah,
it became more than just, hey man, I'm trying to beat you. He went after a specific part of the body and fucking broke it.
Yeah, I like how he just had his foot on him, like, I got you,
Yeah, I could kill you if I wanted to. Hey, it's like it's like Bound by Honor. It's like when the dog goes belly up, he's finished. That's a call to a future episode, guys. So
yes, sir.
Stay tuned.
Yes, sir. So we go back to Apex, right? And they finished downloading that the new power source, and the most interesting man wants to put it in the Mechagodzilla right away, and the Japanese dude that's controlling it is like, "Oh wait, not yet," and he's like, "Just do it." And what happens?
No, he's and it's like, for me, did he see that Godzilla was weak after a battle with Kong, and this was the moment to strike, or he just wanted to take out Godzilla as soon as possible? For me, it was that he saw that this was his moment to strike, and again, like happens with these AI creatures, try to take it all online too soon, and it takes over. And then, we're trying to hope John Connor comes from the future to save us one day.
Yep. So now we got Mechagodzilla loose and starts tearing shit up.
Well, before he gets loose, he right away comes back, and our we got to say goodbye to the Dos Equis guy.
Yeah. Yep. After he took over. Now, what did you think when?
So he takes over, and then
what did you think when Mechagodzilla first comes out, and as soon as he sees Godzilla, he just starts shooting missiles at him?
Oh, it was he's coming out with the same mindset as Kong or Godzilla is what I'm thinking. It's like he comes out and he's got to be the apex predator now. So. He goes out and he takes out his biggest threat. And, that happens, and then that's when we have to see and Kong rises again, but it takes a little something to get him rising, and they do a callback to where that heave had enough power to light up Las Vegas for 3 days or something like that, it said. And that's just for a week, and that's just enough power to jolt Kong back and back into action.
Yep, because after they fought, Kong he was down and out. The little girl's touching the ground, and she can feel his heartbeat slowing down. So they need a giant defibrillator. And they go ahead and use that heave vehicle to jumpstart Kong, if you will.
Yeah, and so being the nerd that I am, I have to know if the Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla fight is anything like the old Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla, and it's pretty similar. They do the whole I shoot, you shoot, and whose ray is stronger, and Mechagodzilla wins there. And so I like that they kind of kept it that way and everything. But we get the old Martha scene, and
Yep.
they come together. Kong and
You think that,
Godzilla come together to face this bigger threat, you know?
Yeah, you get that moment where Mecha Godzilla's he's getting ready to take Godzilla out, and then who comes to the rescue? You know, we got Kong.
And I brought it up earlier, but they said, you know, how Kong, the director saw Kong as the classic 80s superhero or classic 80s hero, as a movie hero as we had it back then, and who was one of our heroes back in the day, but owed Riggs from Lethal Weapon, and they give us the Lethal Weapon 2 scene where Kong with the dislocated shoulder pops his shoulder back into place.
I didn't even think about that at the time.
And that is brutal. Bro, that's what it gave me feels to. Now, I didn't know at the time that he was trying to kind of do that, but I was like, did this motherfucker just pull a Riggs? You know?
Yeah. He uses the build. I think it's a building, right? He just like, bah.
Yeah. You know, again, he probably killed like 500 people doing that, but we needed to see that shoulder get popped back into place.
I think they did mention early on the Hong Kong thing that they announced for an evacuation, but we really don't know. Those people were probably still there.
Bro, it's Hong Kong. It's one of the most populated places in the world. You know what I mean? And that's what's good about, I think, you know, some of these movies, like, you know, DC, everything always happens, Metropolis or Gotham, and you know, you can get away with saying, oh, well, this is a quarantine zone, something like that. But, you know, I like these movies, and I like the Marvel movies that take place in New York most of the time. And stuff like that, and it's a real place with real kind of I guess real consequences.
Yeah. That's one thing Marvel has over DC. We're in real cities, not make believe.
Yeah, and you know, you give them that. But that's what I'm liking here is about Godzilla, and as dumb as it sounds to say, but they almost try to make it like real, you know what I mean? Again, going back to the start of the movie where they have all the old clips that come, and it's like it's almost like old news clips and everything like that. You know, to Kong Skull Island being taking place right after the Vietnam War, you know, and having those kind of people in there. So I like that, man. I like that they try to.
So Kong comes, helps out Godzilla, save the day. They take down the Mecha Godzilla. So, like you said, it's a BVS story where we get them versus each other.
Yeah. But it's funny how the girl has to tell him, you know, hey, you got to go freaking save Kong, you know? The little girl comes and letting him know that.
Yeah, she tells him he's not the enemy. He's the enemy.
Yeah. And this motherfucker's like, and that's the thing. That's Kong's weakness, you know. In the older movies, it was, you know, some white girl that they made his, you know, they got to bring him out, and the old movies says it's the beast, you know, not another beast.
Right.
And that's his weakness, man. You know, Kong listens to that. He goes right back into the fight just because she told him. Like some drunk girl at Fiesta telling her boyfriend go beat that guy up.
He was looking at me.
Yeah. That dude dropped my beer.
Are we ever gonna get Fiesta back?
But yeah, I don't know, bro. I hope so. I mean, they're having the Straw Festival this week, so this weekend. So, you know, I guess we're getting there. We ain't getting there in time to get Fiesta back this year, but oh man, I almost fear for the city for the party that the city's gonna have when it is able to come back.
Everybody's
There's one thing
go.
I love about San Antonio, man, is we know how to fucking party. I'm telling you, I don't. Do you fuck with Fiesta a lot, man? Like I do the parades for the kids, and I'll go to Oyster Bake, and me and the wife do La Vita or Nyosa one night, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It's
been a while for us.
It's sometimes a little bit too much.
It's been a while for us, sometimes it's hard with the kids, but yeah, I'm ready though.
Well, you have a band kid, so you have to go to the parades, man.
Well,
if they perform.
Yeah. Well, they didn't perform these last couple of years.
Yeah. You see Lucky walking in parade. Everyone, if you see Lucky walking in parade with MacArthur Band, sure to give him a what's up.
Right. So
like, we see the fight, and while it didn't happen this way, of course, because Kong, this is the first time we see Kong and Mechagodzilla fight. Mechagodzilla's kind of destroyed in the same way, and in the first movie, it's Godzilla tearing off his head, and that's the way we see it here. But before he does that, is Kong is fighting him, and Godzilla sees that he's holding his sword there. So what does Godzilla do? And Godzilla gives him a little raid to the axe, and Kong uses it to take Mechagodzilla apart, and ends with tearing off the old head there. Little homage to the Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla.
They made it seem like it was the skull with the spine hanging down, like.
Yeah.
Cool.
Bro, it really was, and it gave us what we're there for. But dude, this dude's been through a rough fucking weekend, man. Like, he's on his island, he's chilling there. He don't like it, but it is what it is. And they fucking drug him up, put him on a boat, and he gets his ass kicked, almost drowned at sea, and then they tell him, go over here, your family's there. Fuck, dude, he's been through it.
I wouldn't trust that little girl anymore and be like, this is what you got me out here for?
Like, bro, I know you're the only person I can talk to, but I'd rather just go back to being silent for 51 fucking years like I was. But okay, so
Mechagodzilla's done.
We get to the end there, and yes,
they kind of
11 reunites with her dad,
which is another thing. It's like she's there looking around, like she's gonna see somebody she notices, and her dad just magically shows up.
Like he was in Hong Kong too. If I'm in Hong Kong and my daughter is in, I believe the hometown is Miami or whatever that they're really supposed to be from, and my daughter shows up in Hong Kong, I'm gonna have some fucking questions. One, wasn't your mom watching you? Like, where the hell? What's going on?
I know. But like we say, they had to throw the people in there somehow.
But it yeah. And again, I just wanted to know, hey, we're Kong and Godzilla cool now? It's like, what's going on? And they once again face off, and yeah,
they kind of give
out of respect. Kong dropped mom and dad, and Godzilla acknowledges it, and he's like, all right, peace, man. I'm taking off. You go do your thing.
They give each other that head nod, like, yo, we good?
But it's like when Onda and the BGA got together, and to face the aviators at the end of Bound by Honor.
It's coming. Don't worry.
Yeah, I'm telling you, we're ready for it. But
right. That's
so then they cut to so Kong's in Hollow Earth, and he's acknowledging that that is home for him. I don't know if you noticed it. The main guy comes out, and there's no other way to put it, but he looks like Marty McFly. He's got the Marty McFly fucking flak jacket on. It's like, come on, bro. And it cuts to Kong's home, and they're gonna appear to leave Kong in Hollow Earth, and we're gonna see movies coming in from them. But for you, what was your?
It's easier to get there now. The big old hole, right?
Right. Again, it's that big old hole. I guess Kong or Godzilla made that hole, and he killed the gravity that's in between that or something, because like you said, it wasn't as hard going in as it was coming out, or coming out as it was going in. My bad. Again, overall, for me, it does its point, man. It's a good movie. There's holes like a motherfucker in it, but I wasn't coming to watch The Godfather. I was watching Kong versus Godzilla, and I was here to see them fight. I remember getting lost in these older movies for hours on end. It's like first movie I remember watching like that. My dad took me to the Aztec Theater downtown, and we watched it there. But Channel 35 used to run those creature feature movies, and it was always it was Godzilla, or if it wasn't these fighting movies, it was the Bruce Lee movies that they would run. So I remember watching these movies, and they were dumb as, you couldn't understand half of it. If you deep dive into it, man, it goes into where these Godzilla movies were made for one reason, and then they have to be Americanized to show to us. So you can understand why some of the shit didn't match up and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you're watching it to see monsters fucking fighting, and that's what we got with this movie. And it's a good takeaway. Now, people that are a little bit more into it, like us, you see the holes right away. We watch How Did This Get Made. We know how to break down a movie.
Yeah, but like you say, overall, it was a great popcorn flick, if you will. Like you said, it takes you away for a couple hours, and so. And
I'm glad it's doing well, man. I'm glad it's making money out there, and it bodes well for the future of it.
And I think it probably gives the future a little hope. Even though they're releasing it on HBO Max for free, if you have a subscription, and in the theaters, it's still making money.
Yeah, and that's the good thing. I've heard both ways, is that they might keep doing it this way, and after 2022, they might it's going to release in theaters primarily again. Again, both ways is fine. I love the theater going experience. I remember seeing Endgame in the theater, and I wouldn't have wanted to watch that movie any other way for the first time, except when I was in there. This movie would have been a great movie to watch in a 4D type of theater, or or the box seat theaters where the seats move around. Can you imagine? In those heave scenes and those gravity scenes, with your seat moving around. And then now these 4D theaters where they shoot water at you and stuff like that. Or I don't know if you've ever heard about any of these where they, there's burnt rubber. You can smell that shit. Yeah. So it's this would have been one of those movies to experience that way.
Definitely. Yeah, I can't wait to go back to the theaters. If this wasn't on HBO Max, would you have gone to the theaters to go see it?
I think so. I live over here on the southeast side, and we have this city-based cinema here, and they kind of have made it available to where you can rent out some of the theaters. for not that expensive of a price.
Yep.
So I would have thought about maybe something like that. But again, too, I would have felt okay enough to go. It's at a certain point we gotta kind of try and get back to a little bit of normalcy, I guess. And this was one of those movies that's bringing those people out. So,
it'll happen eventually.
I could be wrong, bro, and shit, man. We could be in for another kind of bullshit, but I'm hoping that it's going the other way right now.
Me too, man. So that was the movie review. So one thing we're gonna do on this show, after our little walkthrough, we're gonna go over some points, right? We're gonna go over first our best or favorite part of the movie. I made some sound bites. Let me see if this works. Let me pick the right one. All right. So the best part of the movie or your favorite part of the movie. Go.
Okay. Best part of the movie for me, best line of the movie was the Kong bows to no one. I did like that, but the best part of the movie for me was the end battle where he sees Kong with the axe and Godzilla just throws him a little bit of a charge, and he uses that. Man, it gave me that in-game feel where Captain America comes to save Thor. A little bit of that kind of feeling, and he takes it from there. I can imagine watching it in theaters with the crowd. Man, I'm sure there was cheers for that one.
Nice.
What about you?
Me, I think my favorite part was just when they got to Center Earth and Kong is just chilling on his quote unquote throne. I think it would have been cool if they would have had like a rock kind of crown somehow just land on his head or something. But just that chill moment. I mean, bro was tired. He's been through a lot, and he was just like, "This is it. I'm chilling right now."
Oh, I finally get to sit down, and then I have to get up.
Yep.
It's like us, man. When we come home after that long day of work, and all we want to do is sit down in our favorite chair and just kind of relax for a while, decompose.
Yes, sir.
But I don't know if you noticed during the movie is and again, I didn't catch this. A lot of this stuff I went back and I in my kind of deep dive research for it, I caught on to this and heard about this. But during the movie, when there was a Kong scene, it was backed by music, by old songs that they picked out for him that kind of fit with him. Anytime it was a primarily Godzilla scene, it was backed by score. So when Godzilla's in the mix, it's strictly score. But when it's Kong by himself, it's usually music. From over the river, across the sea. In the beginning of the movie, there's a girl waiting for me.
I didn't pick up on that. I didn't pick up on that. I gotta go rewatch that now.
Yeah, man. It's so he definitely had I guess a point that he was trying to make or a feel that he was trying to get.
Right. So we had our best or favorite moment, but what about our worst? Let me see.
Surely you can't be serious.
So
don't call me Shirley.
So what was the worst thing, or you were like, what the hell? Again,
it was I hate to kind of beat up a dead horse, but I think we could have done without the Elon Musk's daughter there. I didn't think she served that much of a purpose other than to kind of be one of the protagonists, but it was little things like that, like
just
there was stuff that I thought
just her or the people in general.
Well, even like just her, like there on the ship, the stuff that they cut out was the least favorite parts for me. Like I want to know how they got Kong on the ship,
Yeah,
and stuff like that. So that was kind of the worst for me. Again, I pointed out a lot of the holes that were in the movie, but overall, I liked the movie. He didn't make it too long. He didn't, he gave us what we came to see, and that's Kong fight Godzilla.
Right. The worst part for me was just again, I mentioned it earlier, was just these people were supposed to be an expert on Kong, and yet they couldn't do anything or get Kong to do anything without the little girl. It's like, come on.
This little girl that's only been around for 8 or 9 years, while they've had all this time to, study him.
That's probably how old she was. So how long has she really communicated with him? A couple years, maybe?
Right? Yeah. But they had they had a language, they had a dialogue, for him to tell her, not to tell anyone that he can talk.
All right.
And a creature that big, where is he doing this shit in secret at? You know what I mean?
Exactly. I think another thing too is like that boat. I could see when Kong landed on like the carrier, right? The big ship.
Yeah.
But they had him on like a smaller boat. Like I would have think he would have sunk that boat.
Yeah. Again, it was, they had to show the guy ejecting, but when he picked up that like that jet and threw it at. Yeah, again, it served no purpose in him just to show him doing that, but it was cool, man. I like that shit. I like him picking up, different things and using them as a weapon.
Yes, sir. All right, next is what would we change in the movie? Did I do a sound for that?
If I can change.
Oh yeah.
Я думаю, что каждый тоже изменился сегодня.
And you can change.
Вы можете измениться.
Everybody can change.
So, if there's something you can change in the movie, what would you change?
Again, I kind of went in. I talked about it a lot, but I think they rushed into it. This movie. I don't know. Skull Island was in the 70s, and this movie is a present day movie. So, like I said, it's 51 years, they say, between then and now. And where are we at? Where are those 51 years, man? Like, it's not, stuff had to have happened in there. So I just feel they rushed into this movie. Now, don't get me wrong, I like it, but they cut out a lot of those 51 years that maybe they're going to go back, but I don't think they're going to go back. I think it's nothing but forward from here on out.
Take it for what it is.
Yeah. But they hint at a lot of the history. I would like to see more of the history.
Now, what would I change? I would change the look of Mechagodzilla. We didn't talk about it. I was trying to save it for this point, but what did you think of the look? Because the way I see Mechagodzilla, it looks almost an exact replica of Godzilla, but this guy had a totally different look, like a thinner, muscular, more, I don't know. It
just almost an exoskeleton of Godzilla.
Yeah.
I didn't like. Well, I didn't like so much of the look. Because again, like you said, the old Mechagodzilla, it has the body of Godzilla. Right. But this reminded me of those kinetics toys. You know what I mean? And that's what it looked like to me.
I got you. Yeah, that's what I would have changed. So another fun thing I thought we could do. I don't have a soundbite for this one, but. Moving forward from this movie, would you like to see a spin-off or a sequel? And give me a scenario, man. What's going on in your spin-off or sequel?
For me, I'm not spinoff. I'm not sequel. I'm prequel.
Okay.
And there's obviously a Hollow Earth, where these two creatures' ancestors met. How else do we get the axe there? With the dorsal fin and the bone of Godzilla, other than someone took it. I know you said it was kind of just a rock that looked like a chair that he's sitting in. That hand came from somewhere. Where did that come from? So I want to see the battle for Hollow Earth, and you know what? I don't need people in it. It's Hollow Earth. You know what? There should not be any. Maybe there's a person at the end that talks about oh, well, this is what happened between them, right? There's a guy in the beginning. He's like, hey, this is the history of Hollow Earth. And then at the end, he says, oh, that was the history of Hollow Earth. But in the middle, we just see the history of Hollow Earth and how did these two characters run. Maybe it was, maybe it was a gang of Godzillas. Maybe it was a gang of freaking Kongs that battled for Earth. And it wasn't just one versus the other. I want to see that story.
I don't know why they haven't done that or even tried that. With just CGI, right? Maybe you film some locations, but maybe just mostly CGI. You don't have to pay any actors. You know what I mean? It's like It would be a lot cheaper movie. I don't know why they don't try it. It'd be like those animal documentaries. You're just watching the animals interact. It's like,
and I love watching those fucking things. You know what I mean?
I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
And that's my idea. I want to see the prequel.
All right.
These stories came from somewhere.
All right. Mine's a little more silly, but I would like to see a sequel to this with Godzilla and Kong living together in Center Earth or Hollow Earth, like the Odd Couple or something. Still
no, you got it there. It's the
still no
story
people
is there, bro.
Still no people in it, but just them interacting with the environment and just you can see them arguing with each other. You know what I mean,
bro?
I think that'd be dope.
It's the buddy cop. You saw him put his shoulder back into place there. You got your Riggs. Godzilla's your Murtaugh. It's Lethal Weapon Godzilla versus Kong. Godzilla and Kong.
You see them roaring at each other, and it says, "I'm getting too old for this shit."
I'm too old for this shit. It writes itself, bro. I'm telling you.
That's what I would like to see. All right, so, what would you give your overall rating of GVK or Godzilla versus Kong?
I mean, what are we going for, bro? Are we going
I don't know.
For,
we haven't come up with anything.
5 jalapenos or
we haven't come up with anything yet.
I don't.
You're gonna start it right here.
Oh, we need a rating system, right? So, I listen to this show, and they do a Robin rating system. So their rating systems based on their favorite Robin in the Batman series. So it's like Dick Grayson is their best to I want to say like Jason Todd or someone is their worst, and that's how they go. But and I think jalapenos have been taken. For me, it's
it'll be a
4
working
tacos out of 5.
I like tacos. 4 out of 5 tacos. I'll take it.
No, we're in San Antonio.
Absolutely. All right, 4 out of 5.
I don't know if I'm rating it. If I'm rating it too high, but there's a lot more I think for me that goes into it. And again, it's like this is gonna be that movie that they're pointing at, and this kind of showed us that there's some light coming out of the darkness, and there are these fun big movies that are gonna get people to get back out there and go out and watch them. So that throws a little bit into the rating for me.
I got you. It's monumental in a way.
So, yeah.
So
we're gonna, when we're going into episode 100, we'll look back and talk about this episode 1.
All right, you're at 4 tacos. I'll go 3.5, just because I liked it. I like almost everything.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm gonna go with you. I'm saying 4 jalapenos. I had a good time. I enjoyed it, aside from the plot holes. But you know what? It's a movie, and it did its job. It took me away to another place for a couple hours.
Yeah, and again, it for me, it hit a lot of those marks that I was able to say. And again, because I was a fan of the older movies, I was able to say, I remember, stuff like that and everything like that. As a wrestling fan, I'm a wrestling fan. Look, I like wrestling a lot. It was almost a classic match with two big titans there. So I liked it, man. It hit the spots for me.
So for everybody listening today, we're recording late because WrestleMania was on today, right?
Yeah. So WrestleMania Part 1 was on today. For me, it was awesome, man. I liked it. I did get some friends texting me that they didn't like this or they didn't like that. But the way the wrestling fans are nowadays, man, they're never happy.
Are they still doing the digital crowd?
No. That was the thing about today was today was the first major show in front of a live crowd at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa, which, it was pretty packed, and it was good to kind of see that, and people were emotional at the beginning of the show, their first time performing in front of a live crowd in over a year, and it hit some of the feels, man. And you'll learn that about me. I'm an emotional bitch sometimes, It's just
yeah, I'm a big crybaby too.
I get into the movies. I get into it, bro.
I feel you, man. I'm right there with you. Did you think it was weird though? I guess before this, having the digital crowd and you can kind of hear everything. I mean, it's so quiet when they're fighting.
Well, yeah. Well, then they started piping in music, sound, and I didn't like that either too much because sometimes it just didn't match what was going on. Sometimes
it's so you won't hear them talking to each other like, okay, now.
Yeah. So, all right, backdrop. Let's go home. I get into it sometimes, man. I like to. I like wrestling, but I like to mess with some of the fans that take it a little too seriously, man. And everything's got to mean something, and everything's got to be this or that. It's like, calm down. You're looking too much into it. There's still people that are like, it's still real to me, damn it. Anytime I can fuck with someone, I do.
I just can't get into it anymore. Like I've said it before, like to me, wrestling is WWF. That was my wrestling.
Yeah. Bro, I hear you, man. I grew up loving all that shit, and I grew up watching the Von Erichs back in the day, here in in Texas.
Yep.
and everything like that, and so I get into it now, and I'm into it to a certain extent, but there was a few years where I got out of it when I had kids, and they got me back into it, but now I'm the only one in my house that enjoys it. So
it's all good.
That's why my wife, we went with some friends of my wife's, and they're wrestling fans, and it was good, but it turned out, we had fun over there, so it was good to talk wrestling with people because I'll be honest with you, man, like none of my, I guess, friends, they're not big wrestling fans. So it's mostly the people online I interact with.
It's all good. We like what we like, man.
Working with Japanese. Yeah, working with Japanese. There's a big Japanese wrestling company, and I'm like, man, like I'm gonna meet some of these guys. I bet they're wrestling fans, some of them, and not us. In my fucking 15 years there, bro, not a single one has liked wrestling.
It's all good.
And so I just show my, man.
Well, everybody, that was our show. Hopefully you liked our banter back and forth. It can only get better from here. So, but we wanted to introduce everybody to Joe.
Yes, Lucky. Thank you for doing this, man, and for us coming on.
This is your first time with me. Where can people find you on social media if they want to follow your shenanigans?
Well, I kind of feel like we're gonna have to get some things started here. I want to have our page on Facebook and for our show here, and then follow Joe Martinez on Facebook, and I believe it's Martinez Fam on Instagram, and on Twitter it's I still got my old Twitter name. It's Deftone43 nice. There, because I'm a big Deftones fan. Yeah, so anyone of there, but as we get this thing rolling and going, I think we're gonna have to put out our own stuff out there.
All right. Yeah, we'll work on that. We'll make our own Instagram page and all that.
I don't know if I'm gonna make a TikTok like Lucky guys, but I'm not there yet.
Yeah, that's just me messing around. And of course, you can always find me at dorkdadpodcast.com. That goes straight to my Spotify page, which now you'll find this show. And of course, threelegedrabbit.com, and on TikTok, Dork Dad Podcast. Three-Legged Rabbit, just to make an announcement, I got with Nicholas from Zampotis Art. He put out some more shirts. He put some new designs out there, which you can find. Go check that out. And he also did a collab with Smash Lab Creations. That if you buy that shirt, all proceeds are going to go to the suicide hotline. So that's a good cause. So go check those out at threelegedrabbit.com.
Oh, that's awesome, brother.
Yeah. But yeah, that's it. We need to find an ending too. Like, what are we going to say? Peace out. Bye. Whatever. But
no one bows to Kong.
No one bows to Kong.
Or Kong bows to no one.
All right. Again, thanks for listening. That was our show. What do we call it? Now watch this.
Thank you, Lucky.
All right. We'll see y'all
later. Now watch this.
This is crazy. This is crazy. This is crazy.
Hey, life's a risk, carnal.
Tell me something, my friend. You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
I do a great impression of a hot dog.
Billy likes to drink soda.
So am I to understand that you men completed your training on your own?
That's the fact, Jack!
Come on, seriously, who is that?
I only came here to do two things, man. Kick some ass and drink some beer. Looks like we're almost out of beer.
All right. Thanks for listening.